Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to a brand new F1 Esports video. This is round number 10 around Mexico. And as you can see, this is just starting our first lap in Q1. Past few races have not gone too well. As you can see, first we were leading the Constructors' Championship by I think around 30 to 40 points. We're now 17 points behind after Alpine's 1-2 finish in Texas, and both me and Fred basically didn't score any points. So we lost like 40 points there. Driver standings, as you can see, we're 50 points behind. Starting to look very, very unlikely that we're still in this. Freddy, if anything, is most in it out of the two of us, but also 27 points behind. Not impossible, but starting to look unlikely. First run in Q1, and as always, trying to make it into Q2 on a single set of tires. We're 2.1 tenths up on Julian Klaffenbach as we head into the final sector. This is where you can gain a lot of time if you get it right. A little bit of hesitation there on the flick. As we head into the final corner, easy to have a little bit of a slide there on the exit, which we had, and that definitely cost us some time. It puts us P9, 100 behind our teammate, and that would not be enough to probably make it into Q2. Yeah, let's see what we can do on this second lap. P9 at the moment, and we're looking for around half a tenth to a tenth improvement to definitely be safe. A little bit wide, perhaps into turn 1. Not the end of the world, but we get a slide as we head onto the exit of the second and third corner. And that definitely cost us some time. Again, not the end of the world. We're only 200s down. And just like Texas, a lot of corners, a lot of slow speed corners here, where you can make up quite a bit of time. As we do exactly that on turn 5. Through turn 7 and 8 we go. And into the fast part. This is just a lift for us in F1 Esports, and then this entire section is easily flat out. That is definitely not the case in real life, but air pressure is a little bit too hard for Cody's to code in, I guess. So into the final sector of the lap we go, and that was not a good start of the third sector. We've lost a lot of time there. We did have a little bit of a slide through the final corner on the previous run, but yeah, we make up a lot of time after that slide into the fast right-hander, but we actually did not improve, and we could have actually stayed in because we didn't improve there. Jake Benham out in Q1 there together with Joris Cruzen and Julian Klaffenbach. You can see how close the gaps are actually. There's so many slow speed corners, which theoretically should be able to gain a lot of lap time. But only 1.2 tenths is the gap from me to P1. And that's basically what we lost in that fast right-hander. It just shows that if we hook it up, we've got the pace. This is our first run, first new tire run in Q2. And yeah, we're 7 tenths up. We, I think, had a bit of a moment there in the final sector on our used tire run, which is why we're up so much. But used tires on this track are also really bad. But yeah, we're P10 at the moment. We're gonna have to improve on this one because, yeah, only the top 10 goes through, and yeah, we're probably looking at least a 110 improvement. We're 200s up through the first few corners, and that's just what we need to keep doing. Gaining 200s every 2-3 corners, then we should be fine. But that's easier said than done. Into turn 5, 6 we go, and then 6, 7. As we head into the very fast part of this track. Yeah, again, as we move through the qualifying sessions, that left-hander is going to be less and less of a lift, and by the final lap of Q3 it might be flat out, depending on the wings you're running, depending on your setup. Into the final sector we go. We're 1.4 tenths up on Duncan Hovland. Fortunately, again, we didn't quite have a good fast right-hander there, and that definitely cost us some time. We're 1 tenth up into the final corner. 1.4 tenths, but unfortunately we just lost a lot there on the exit. Couldn't quite get the rotation right. Improved 900s, and it's only enough for P11, unfortunately. Once again, very close qualifying session. Yeah, that final corner just cost us in the end. Losing that 200s, 300s is just the difference to making it, or even comfortably making it, being in P6 or P7, or being P11. But as you can see there, Otis Lornes and Danny Bresnia out in Q2 as well. And that is quite crucial. We need that for the team championship because we've got 17 points to make up for. And that just shows that even if you got one of the most dominant seasons in F1 Esports, then you can always still slip up. Because it's so close, one tiny mistake, you lose 2-300s. Your lap was not that perfect, and then you're looking at a P15 or a P12 or a P11 suddenly in Q2. But onto the race we go, and as you can see, starting P11 on the medium tires, so we're gonna get a better launch than our teammate Freddie Rasmussen there in P10, and we straight away move up to P10 off the line, and now we've got 2 hard runners on our inside and on our outside, and we're gonna brake as late as possible. We have to take a bit of risk here because we cannot sit around P10 the whole race, and it's nearly 4 wide there actually for a moment. I'm trying to leave space for both cars on the apex and on the outside, but that's quite hard when it's so close together. And yeah, trying to find our way around Ruben Pedreno and Nicolas Longe. We've got a car on our outside there, that's Danny Beresne, also on the mediums. He started right behind us, I think so, in P12. So 2 positions gained, good start. And now we need to try and find our way past Nicolas Longe somewhere. Ruben Pedreno on the hard, so I was kind of hoping that Nicolas Longe would try and have a go, but what you guys don't know yet is that we are on a 2-stop strategy. And Nicolas Longe might be on a 1-stop strategy, so we are pushing here to try and get past. If he try and defend with everything he's got, then he might be using up too much tire and he's going to be too slow later on. And the reason why we're going for a 2-stop again is because we're in a similar scenario as Zandvoort, where it's quite difficult to do a 1-stop. Now the difference is here is that it's also the softest compounds available. C5, 4 and 3. Actually C6 is the softest these days, but that's just street circuits. So, end of lap 6, and we're going to be coming into the box. Seems early, but the mediums are not the tire to be on. You want to be on the hards. They are the better race tire due to all the overheating we've got on this track. Also a lot of tire wear. So we're boxing at the end of lap 6. That way we can undercut everyone ahead of us that is on the 1-stop, and we don't have to deal with them anymore. Yeah, in the ideal world you probably box lap 7 or lap 8, maybe in lap 9 on a 2-stop, but you will have people boxing that early even on the 1-stop, and then yeah, that's just no ideal. Out we go, start of lap 7, and we're 16.7, 16.8 seconds behind Julian Klaverbock as we hit the brakes into turn 1. We've gone a little bit wide, obviously cold tires, hard braking zone, but we've got to push. We've got to push flat out from the very first corner until the last corner in this stint, because we need to create as big of a gap as possible. We're not even fighting for track position at the point. We're fighting for the total race time. We're driving like this is a 30 lap time trial. That's what we're doing. We don't even have to think about positions. All we have to do is drive flat out, not save tires, not save anything. It's full push, which is quite unusual for an F1 Esports race. But we're doing it. And as you can see, 16.8 seconds was the gap when we hit the brakes in turn 1. By the time we cross the line, not even hit the brakes, by the time we cross the line to start our next lap, as you can see, it is 15.1 seconds. We've gained already 1.7 seconds just on the outlap, but the tires were slightly too cold. And as you can see, at the end of lap 9, the gap is 12.5 seconds. So, end of lap 9, just as I said earlier on, people will box for the 1-stop, and it's crucial that we have cleared them. Now, we were in P9 when we boxed. We gained 4.5 seconds to Julian Klaverbock. I think we gained slightly more to the leaders because there was a few gaps at the back there that were getting closed. So, Isvan Puki, Alfie Butcher, and I think another 2 cars on the medium. I think it might be Ferrari and a Racing Bulls that have boxed at the end of lap 9. That is super early, and that is quite good for us. The earlier they box, the nicer, because the total race time will go down, and that means that will help us. End of lap 24, you can see our tires are completely cooked. And that means we're going to go into the box. End of lap 24. Thomas Ronhaar was 9 seconds ahead. I'm not sure if you guys saw it in the top left. He was 9 seconds ahead on the hard-medium strategy with 12 laps to go. So you might be thinking that this strategy was terrible because the hard-medium strategy is 9 seconds ahead and they only got to do 12 laps on the mediums. But the mediums are so bad on this track that we still got a chance. And from the outside, if you go back to this race on the YouTube comments, the live chat, they thought that we had completely chalked our strategy, but obviously we know the numbers. We knew that this was still on. And that's why I went flat out once again. This is another time trial. The earlier we catch them, the better. Now, I must say that the people on the hard medium, they were a lot faster than we expected. But the medium hard boxed so early that they ended up getting slowed down again. So, yeah, it got balanced out, I think, in the end a little bit. But we got 9 seconds to make up for ahead of us. Julian Klaffenbach, start of lap 26. Thomas Gall boxed at the end of lap 25. 3.4 seconds, 3.2 seconds ahead as we hit the brakes. Actually make it 3.1 seconds. And yeah, he only has got to do 11 laps on that set of the mediums. And yeah, again, it's going to take us a while for us to get a tire advantage as there's been an incident ahead, and that moves us up to P17. But as you can imagine, we are catching really late in this race. Every move we make has to be clean, fast, and we'll execute it without having to use too much battery. That is the most crucial part here, because we're simply running out of time. And that's what I said earlier on. We're just running out of time, as there's another incident up ahead. I think Ulas Zildrim has lost his front wing. As you can see, he's really slow through there, and that gives us the run. His race is over. I'm not sure what happened, but up to P16 we go. And now we're behind Thomas Gall. Now he has the freshest tires out of everyone ahead, as a front wing is flying around there. I'm not sure from who, but I do not care too much about that. 7 laps to go, and yeah, we're still only in P16. We are starting to run out of time. Our battery is not completely full as well, as I actually expected to catch at the end of this lap rather than at the start of this one. But the pack really bunched up, and now into turn 1, just trying to find my way through. Couldn't quite. And I knew Thomas Gall, you know, he was going to go for it on Danny Bresnay because he has much fresher tires. So I was like, you go for it. Let's just not fight each other too much. I'm going to recharge my battery, not pressurize you, and you can go for the move into this next left-hander. And then we can recharge our battery, you know. Sit back, and as you can see, he gets the move done. And now it's our time to get past the first non-incident car. As you can see, Danny Bresnay, also I think one of the earlier boxers, he started 1 position behind us, and he's down to P15. Obviously, he's our championship rival in the team championship, so he is not going to make this easy for us. He's not in the driver's championship as well. He's going to go defensive. We go around the outside, but I lock the front slightly. And couldn't quite get the move done because of that, but we're going to get another go. Out of the final corner we go. 6 laps to go, and we are still only in P16. And now we really need to get past Danny Bresnay. Obviously our tire advantage is fading slowly, so we need to get something done. 360 kph as we hit the brakes into turn 1. We're going to go around the outside and move up to P15. Still, at the end of this lap, we got 5 laps to go. Even if we gain a position every lap, we're looking at only 1 point, which is no ideal. A little bit of argy-bargy up ahead. And this is good for both me and Thomas Gall, who is still on those fresher medium tires. But as I said early on, the mediums are not the race tire to be on. It might always seem like, you know, it might make sense if there's only 10 laps to go into the mediums. But if the hard runners from the first end could choose, they would go back onto the hards as well. They just can't. So now we're going to have a go at Thomas Gall. into the next right, and then we're going to brake as late as possible. He squeezes onto the curb. We squeeze him onto the apex curb. And up to P14 we go. 5 laps to go. And we're in P14. And now we need to try and get a move done on Julian Klavenbok. I think one of the earlier boxers of the mediums. Somewhere in the middle perhaps, not the earliest. But yeah, let's see what we can do. We're gonna turn the overtake button on. We cannot really go for the move there, so I have to turn the battery off again. Cars up ahead going side by side, and a little bit of contact there from Nicolas Longe, Joris Cruzen and Jake Benham. And now we're gonna sit back, set up the exit, and get a run on Nicolas Longe and Julian Klavenbok. We're gonna burn our battery here on this straight that we've been saving on the past few laps. We're gonna brake late around the outside, contact up ahead, and that's another 2 positions for us. And up to P10 we go, with 4.5 laps remaining. We got our teammate Freddie Rasmussen up ahead. I think he boxed quite early, and his tires are starting to get worn. So he's not gonna massively move ahead anymore. And obviously, with the team championship in the balance, he's not gonna make it too difficult for us, as we got great potential for more points up ahead. The further we get up front, the older the tires are going to be. And that's what we got to keep in mind throughout these next 4 laps. 4 laps to go. P10. And we're going to turn on the battery. Freddy is going to save it. Joris Cruzen 1 second behind, so no threat from behind. It's going to be quite an easy pass. I'm burning my battery to get the move done in time, so we don't have to go side by side. And now up to P9 we go. Barry Bormand up ahead. I think he boxed at the end of lap 9. So he's on quite old tires as well. Same for Istvan Pukki. Now, if they fight this too hard and they use up their battery, they use up their tires, then that might help Freddy a little bit and might give him an extra position. But that's easier said than done. So let's see what we can do here. Again, the closer we get, the more extreme the dirty air we get. I was having a little look down the inside there, as we had enough battery to use anyway, putting some pressure. And let's see if we can maybe make a move on the next DRS straight, trying to get a run. But unfortunately, we just can't. And you can see how close we are behind. Just not really getting any more slipstream. So yeah, P9 it is. Let's see if we can go for another move into turn 1. We're pretty much on a full battery, 85%. And now this straight is long enough for us to get a tiny bit more slipstream. We're closer to Barry than Barry is to Istvan. And we have the tire advantage to brake late and go for a move maybe into turn 1. Barry is closing up and Istvan Pukki having a little look down the inside. We go around the outside, braking late on those freshy tires, and up to P8 we go. 3 laps to go, and Otis Lawrence in P6. But he boxed early on the hard medium. His tires will be fading. Same for Istvan Pukki. He's not even fighting this because he knows that it's almost a pointless fight with how much more grip we have, how much fresher our tires are. We boxed at the end of lap 24. He boxed at the start of lap 9. And Otis Lawrence also boxed quite early from the hard to the medium. I think end of lap 19 or end of lap 20. Long stint for him, but he has gained a lot of positions because of it. But he cannot fight us on the 2-stop. Up to P6 we go. 2 laps to go. Thomas Ronhaar, remember, we boxed in the same lap. The gap was 9 seconds, and that's what I was talking about. Obviously getting held up by the early pitters from the medium hard. But the mediums are also just not the better race tire. We are on the better race tire, and we've already gained 9 seconds. 2 laps to go, and we have the tire advantage to do something here. Thomas trying to get a move on Duncan Hovland, who's boxed early as well, I think so. But again, the dirty air is just really, really bad. You don't get a lot of slipstream. And 2 laps to go. We're just having to recharge the battery a little bit. Thomas Ronhaar pushing hard to try and get past Duncan Hovland, and I think he is flashing there. Not because he's turned the battery off, but because he's below 10%. Now there's a lot of spots here where you can recharge the battery, so it doesn't mean a free pass. on the next main straight, but it does tell us that we have a battery advantage and we can do something. And out of this fast section, we were on 100% battery, and we're going to turn on the battery and put some pressure here. Force him to use a bit of battery. Not really an overtaking opportunity. Yeah, he actually got nice rotation out of the fast right, and he goes defensive. Good overtaking opportunity as well. But now we got 100% battery basically through the final corner, and Thomas gets the slide, and that's not what you want on those mediums because they're burning hot already. And now we got to run. Final lap of the race. Can we perhaps still get a P4, maybe a P3 if things really go our way? I'm going to burn the battery all the way down to 0 if we have to. I'm going to brake late into turn 1. We got the tire advantage. And we're going to get ahead. By the time we get to turn 2, we cover off the switchback. And P5 it is. Can we perhaps still get a P4 here? There's fighting up ahead. And that might just give us the opportunity. They're really close up ahead. They're really compacting up and slowing each other down. And this is what we needed. That's just what we needed. But this fast section is not an overtaking opportunity. Our final chance is going to be in the final sector. We need a good run out of this fast section. A little bit of a slide from Duncan Hovland, and that's just what we needed. And we got to run. Another little slide from Duncan Hovland up ahead. We get to run, and now we're going to try and go around the outside into the next right, and a little bit of contact. We keep it on track, but unfortunately, we just run a little bit too deep. And we have to settle for P5. I was thinking about a big send down the inside there, but I didn't think I was going to get the move done in time to be far enough alongside to be given space. So P5 it is. After being in P16 with 6 laps to go, so we gained 11 positions there in the final 6 laps, and a crucial few points in the championship, in the team championship. That's just what we needed. Because, yeah, with only 3 races to go, we have to start regaining points to Alpine. If they got another good result and gain big time, it was really going to start looking bad. But now we've gained some points, and we are only 5 points behind now. So we gained 12 points in the team championship. Ferrari gains to us, but yeah, we're not too worried about that. We cannot worry about everything. We have to just maximize the performances after the qualifying. And yeah, we move up 1 position in the Drivers' Championship, but yeah, as you can imagine, we are still 45 points behind. 2 races to go. Yeah, quite unlikely. At least the game gave us driver today. Very lovely. Thank you. But yeah, this was a very fun race. Doing a 2-stop and actually making it work this time rather than last time. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao.